Hey everybody, it's Jay, and it's time to talk about your flair. Hey, are you guys ready to see some sweet ways to spruce up that game room? Well, first and foremost, let's see who won the sweet Underleague giveaway. Alright everybody, I had 22 people enter the giveaway for the copy of Underleague from Call Great Games and that sweet piece of flair that I made that displays art from that game. So here I've compiled a list on Excel of 22 different people that entered. And to fairly pick, I will open up a random number generator on my phone. Here we go. I'm going to enter 22 people on here. And whatever number this comes up with is going to be the winner. So we got number 5. And that looks like Sharon Clayton. Congratulations, Sharon Clayton. You're going to win this nifty piece of flair, which coincidentally does count towards your 15-piece minimum. Also, you're going to win the game Underleague, and I'll probably throw some extra things in the box just for fun. Everybody, Underleague is on Kickstarter right now. That game has something to offer for everybody, from seasoned card gamers to brand new ones. Is anybody ready to talk about some other flair? Hey, there's 3 types of people in this world. People who love Blood Rage, people who like Blood Rage, and people who act like they don't like Blood Rage, but they secretly like Blood Rage. I'm just kidding, guys, but seriously, I love Blood Rage and I will play it every single chance I can. And that's why I made this piece of flair, because I love Blood Rage. Let's check it out. For this piece of flair, we're going to need a piece of wood. This one is 18 inches by 32 inches. Then we're going to need some fire tone spray paints and some black and white spray paints. We're also going to need a plastic bag. We're going to need 2 stencils. One stencil is black for detail, the other stencil is for color. Both stencils are drawn on contact paper. We're going to need an X-Acto knife to cut each stencil out. Then we're going to need some silver spray paint. Also, we're going to need some brown, yellow, black, white, silver, and skin tone paints and paintbrushes. Then we're going to need a scrap piece of cardboard. And finally, we're just going to need some clear coat to finish. First, I base coated the wood with white and let it dry. Then, I quickly spray painted a thick layer of 2 yellow tones onto the wood, immediately followed by a thick layer of 2 orange tones, immediately followed by a little red. And finally, I quickly sprayed a thick layer of black. All of the fire tones are sprayed on in quick succession and not allowed to dry. Immediately after the black layer is sprayed, I take the plastic bag and press it onto the wet paint. I repeat the bag process until I have my desired effect. You can change out your bag if you need to, if your original bag gets too covered in paint. Then I roughly spray paint a black border around the outside. I let that dry completely. Once dry, I applied the colored stencil. Once I have it where I want it, I made sure to mask any bare parts of the canvas with the contact paper backing. Then I cut along all the lines on the stencil. Notice I have my stencil marked S for silver, B for brown, and I also have beard and flesh sections. Once the entire stencil has been cut, I peel off only the silver sections. Then I liberally spray over the stencil in silver spray paint. Once that has completely dried, I peel off the brown sections. I mix varied shades of brown from medium to dark using browns and blacks, and hand paint it onto the brown sections, using the box art as reference on what shade of brown to use. I go over and make sure I have all the sections covered brown that need to be, including some painted silver that I may have messed up when making the stencils, like his foot. Once I have the browns done, I peel the beard and braid section off the stencil. Then I mix browns and yellows to get a nice blonde tone and paint those sections. Then I peel the flesh sections off on his face and paint them flesh tone. Once all those paints are dry, I then use the fire tones to lightly add the radiant light from the background fire. First, I lightly spray the darkest tone orange, then work my way back to the lightest tone of yellow. Once dried, I then add highlights and lowlights in silver using various tones of silver by mixing silver with white and black respectively. Use the box art as reference on what sections to high and low light. Once all the colors are finished and dry, I apply the black detail stencil. I cut pieces from various sections of the stencil to ensure it's aligned correctly. Once it's 100% surely in place, I patiently cut out the entire stencil with an X-Acto knife. This took me a very long time, but don't rush it. It's better for it to take a little longer than to cut corners. Once the stencil was completely cut out, and I got feeling back into my hand, I masked up any bare spots on the canvas with the back of the contact paper. Then I spray painted the entire stencil black. Once that dried, I peeled off that stencil and touched up any areas by hand with black that needed it. Then I cut a long straight shape from the scrap cardboard as a stencil for the lightning and added a few lightning bolts with white spray paint. Finally, I clear coated the entire piece. This can be a piece of shelf flare by just leaning it on any large shelf, or a piece of wall flare by hanging it with any hanging technique I've displayed in the past. Boom! There you have it. Not so quick, not so easy way to add some flair to your game room. Hey, quick shout out to Thomas from Custom Tags for helping me out with this stencil. You are awesome. Everybody, go check out Underleague on Kickstarter right now. That game is amazing and I cannot wait to get my hands on it. Hey, if anybody has any games or ideas they'd like me to make into some flair, just leave them in the comments below, or you can shoot me a message on Twitter at halfhandicapped. But better yet, get on Facebook, go to 15 Pieces of Flair with J Peak, and leave me a message on there. Maybe let me know your favorite game or something. Hey, I like giving stuff away for free too, so maybe you'll get something. And if you guys could, go check out my YouTube channel. It's just called Pique Your Interest. Just a little channel. That'd be great. I'd love that. And don't forget, 15 Pieces of Flair is the bare minimum. Some people choose to do more, and we encourage that. Have fun, everybody.